Okay, welcome to another section of the Lucian. You might recall that we left it with the symposium, a description of the Elysian field where the symposium is held, and the trees which are made of glass. And the very last thing that was mentioned was that although the winds provide all of the sort of accoutrements for the symposium itself, in terms of the drinking, which is the main part of the symposium, the trees grow glasses of all types and sizes. So that's where we're going to pick up from here. So the party is starting to get into full swing and people are arriving. So let's see what he says. Epeidan, un parie tis est to symposion. So, epeidan contains a word which you already know, epe, which means when, and the section on the end, an. You'll have seen an before, creating a kind of indefinacy, sort of hypothetical. So, epeidan doesn't just mean when, it means whenever. You can see that hypothetical sense within it. And then immediately afterwards, un. So, whenever. And then parie tis. Tis is a word you know, so a certain, someone. So whenever somebody, parie, this comes from parerkamai, which it's got a sense. Erkamai, obviously, you know, is the verb to go, where you get elthon from. So to arrive, really, or go to. So whenever anyone arrives, esto symposion, at the symposium, trugesas hen kai duo ton ekpormaton paratithetai. Okay, so trugesas is our first verb. It's participle form and our aorist pas pasapan type one. The verb trugao means to pick something, and is particularly used of fruit and harvesting. So it's quite appropriate here. So having picked hen, the number one, air, kai, or even. I know kai usually means and, but we've certainly seen it before meaning even. Having picked one or even duo, two, and then torn, ekporma, torn. The ekporma is the wine cup, so torn, ekporma, torn. Genitive here being used for quantity, so one or two of the wine cups. Para tithetai. So tithemi, which is not a verb you need to know particularly well at GCSE. It does appear in certain tenses, but it means to put or to place. You don't get it in its present form because it's an unusual verb. It's what's known as a me verb ending in mu iota. So paratithetai, he puts it, para, around him. So he puts it down next to him. So having picked one or two of the wine cups, he sets it down next to him. This is all, remember, hypothetical. So this is relating back to our tis right back at the beginning. Our certain man arrives and he picks one of the wine cups and he paratithetai, puts it down next to him. Then a change of subject. Tade autica oinu plere ginetai. So ta refers to the ekpormaton over here. So it's neuter plurals. So ta de and these, or but these, probably and is easier here. And these, autica, adverb immediately. And then there's a verb at the end, ginetai, which we have seen before. It's an alternative form of gignomai. So we're just missing that second gamma. Gignetai. And these become, remember it's neuter plural, the tade, so this is a singular verb with the etai on the end of it. And these become immediately, with the autica, plere, full, oinu, of wine. Okay, so you pick your glass from the tree, like a piece of fruit, put it down next to you, and straight away it fills up with wine magically. Hutor men, pinusin. So hutor, we've seen before, thus or in this way. And then men, creating a contrast, the beginnings of a contrast. So on the one hand, in this way, pinusin, they drink. The de is over here, creating the second half of the contrast. De, but, anti-det ton Stephanon, hai aedones, kai ta ala ta musica ornea ekton plesion lemonon tois stomasin anthologunta. I'm going to pause there, I think, because there's quite a lot going on here. So, det we've already dealt with, but anti we've seen before, meaning in Greek instead of, more common in English to be against something, but in Greek usually instead of, and naturally it takes a genitive, as you might expect. So instead, torn Stephanon. Stephanos can be a crown or a garland. Garlands are quite a big thing in symposiums, so you would crown yourself with a garland to enhance the festivities. So anti-torn Stephanon, instead of garlands, hai aedones. This is your subject with the hai, and aedones are nightingales. So instead of garlands, the nightingales, as in the birds, kai ta ala ta musica ornea. So kai ta ala and the other, and then you get a description of what this other is. Ta musica ornea. Ta ornea are birds, as in ornithology, and the other birds. And then you've got this adjective in the middle, just over here, musica, which I'm sure you can guess is where we get the English word music from. So musica means the musical ones. So ta musica ornea, the musical birds. Probably more natural in English to say songbirds. So instead of garlands, the nightingales and the other songbirds. Ekton plesion lemonon. So ek, we know meaning from or out of. Ton plesion lemonon. Lemonon is a word that we've seen before. It's meadows, lemon. So ekton lemonon, from the meadows, and then plesion in the middle here means nearby. It is an adjective, but it's being used adverbially here. So from the nearby meadows. So let's just recap. Instead of garlands, the nightingales and the other songbirds, from the nearby meadows, tois stomasin, in their mouths. So stoma is a mouth. I'm sure you've seen similar words in biology, cells having stoma and things like that. So from their mouths, anthologunta, and this is a compound verb. There are a couple of these knocking around in here. I mean, we've had several already, but this is quite an interesting one. It means specifically to gather flowers. So if you take that whole thing together, the nightingales and the other songbirds gathering flowers in their mouths or with their mouths from the nearby meadows. And then immediately afterwards, another interesting compound verb, kata nephe. So kata meaning down, and nephe is to snow. So they snow down. They snow down autus on them. So they cover them with snow is the idea. Okay, so let's just run that back from the anti. So anti det torn Stephanon, instead of garlands, hai aedones, the nightingales, kai ta ala ta musica ornea, and the other songbirds, ekton plesion lemonon, from the nearby meadows, tois stomasin, in their mouths, anthologunta, gathering flowers, katanephe, they cover as if with snow autus them. So they cover them as if with snow. So these birds fly over and they drop flowers on them instead of having garlands. And then just to finish the picture, met oedes huper petomena. Sorry, excuse me. Met oedes huper petomena. So met, if it's with a genitive, means with. So with song, and then this is a participle agreeing. Sorry, I should have mentioned that with the anthologunta as well, actually. It's a participle describing the birds, ta or nea. So gathering flowers. And then similar in parallel here, met oedes, with song, huper petomena, flying over. So you can take that. You can take those two things as a main verb if you want. They gather flowers and cover them as if with snow, and fly over with song. And the met oedes you might want to take as something like while singing. Turn it into a verb. It is technically a noun. Oede is is the noun for a song. It's where we get the English word ode. But met oeres, with song, so while singing might be an appropriate way of doing it if you like that. Good. It's a long sentence. I don't think it's too complicated. It reads quite well from left to right. So do it a couple of times and I think it will work for you. Kai men. This as a phrase means something like and indeed, but is often used to add additional information. So it's often translated as furthermore or moreover. So furthermore, kai muris dontai. So kai again here probably more easily taken as even. Also rather. I'll try that again. Kai here probably more easily taken as also. So furthermore, also muris dontai. We've had nouns relating to this before. We've had the noun muron meaning perfume. So murisdo is to perfume oneself. So murisdontai, they perfume themselves or they are perfumed. Horde, thus, in the following way. And that word naturally leads into an explanation afterwards. So furthermore, they are also perfumed in the following way. And we're going to get a description of that down here. Nephelai puknai anaspasasai muron ekton pegon kai tu potamu. Let's just take that first of all. So nephelai are clouds. So nephelai puknai, thick clouds. Anaspasasai. To draw up, the verb, you can see it in the vocabulary, anaspao means to draw up. So this is the aorist form of it. So thick clouds, having drawn up, and then the object of that here is muron, perfume. Ekton pergon, from the streams, pege is a stream, kai tu potamu, and you need to imply the ek again. So from the streams and from the rivers. Remember that there are a number of rivers going around the Isle of the Blest, and some of them contain perfume rather than water. We had a variety of different rivers. So thick clouds, having drawn up perfume from the streams and the rivers. Kai, epistasai, and again, epistasai is the participle. It means to sort of stand over something, stand at something. So you might want to translate it as to sort of stand over something here. And again, it's in the aorist. So, and having stood over, and then you get that sort of reinforced here with huper, which means above. So you only really need it once. So having stood over, to symposion, the symposium. So you've got this image again, the clouds, they gather over the streams, draw up the perfume, and then they float off to the symposium, stop at it with the epistasai, and then, I'm sure you can guess what's going to happen, but erema, ton anemon, hupoth libonton, huusi lepton hosper droson. So, erema, not to be confused with hemera, which is a very similar word, but here it means something like gently. So gently, torn anemon. This is anemos is the wind, and you can see that this is in the genitive, and as is hupothlibonton, which follows. So this is a genitive absolute. Hupothlibonton means to sort of push underneath. So with the winds gently pushing underneath. Huusi, this is the verb to rain, huo. So huusi, they rain, and you may wish to imply the perfume again here. They rain down the perfume. And you've got a comparison here introduced by horsebear. Like, or as if, droson. Droson is the dew, and lepton is gentle. So they rain down perfume as if gentle dew. So the idea is that we've got an image. It's not like a storm cloud coming over. They're not going to end up in a freak shower of perfume. It's just a gentle drizzle of perfume like dew. Anyway, I hope that helps. As always, let me know if there are any questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.